on your phone.
Garbage.
Give you a positive for that. How many of there are you?
4. Counting Alyssa. I'm in 6th place. Alyssa basically won Oh. Whatever we want.
Class, can I have your attention? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gentlemen. Great, so last time we would have talked about several conflicts that happened within Utah, including the Walker War, the Goshen War, Bear River Massacre, Black Hawk War, and the Posey War. I'm just going to cover a little bit about what we talked about in those conflicts, just so I can contextualize that for you. Make sure you're knowing and understanding exactly what was going on. So the Walker War, 1847, the pioneers meet Native people. 1853, the Walker War begins. 1854, Wakahara and Brigham Young meet for the peace treaty. So that's a timeline of exactly what happened during the Walker War. So it only lasted for a year. Not bad. Yes, ma'am. Oh. Great.
Wakahara and Brigham Young meet for peace treaty.
Great. So where did it happen? So here's Springville. Everyone knows where Springville's at, right?
No.
Just south of Provo. Right. So, guys, so when you have a thought, just go ahead and think it, okay? I'd appreciate that. So let me get through this presentation. We'll do an activity. I just don't need you to be shouting out your thoughts. That'd be great. Thank you. So here's kind of the movement. So I'm not great at pronouncing Native American names, so I'm not even going to try. But yeah, the chiefs are meeting over here, and then so that's part of where the war is happening. Here's the Utah Lake for some physical knowledge there. So Mormons began to attempt to suppress the new Mexican trade, and the Ute depended on this trade. Colonists began to interfere with many of the Ute transactions. The area was being traveled more and more with non-Mormon trading expeditions and settlers in a few isolated incidences, and Ute natives were killed through most of this. Then Utes began to raid settlements. They were stealing horses and cattle during this time. Wakahara, one of the Ute leaders, met with Brigham Young to make peace. While there, Brigham Young gave a healing blessing to one of Wakahara's children, and that eased the tensions of the war. So casualties during the war equaled about 12 white settlers, estimated equal amount of Native Americans. So there weren't a ton of casualties. Sorry, what?
That's like a death penalty.
It was a war. So as a result, Brigham Young directed settlers to move the outlying farms and ranches to establish centralized forts. Utes were forced to leave the area near Utah Lake. 120 of Wakahara's tribe were baptized as Mormons. So there's a little bit of transition there to ease the tensions. They started accepting religious faith, and they got along a little bit. So the Gunnison Massacre was right after that. So 1853 is in between the Walker War and the Peace Treaty, is the Gunnison Massacre. So there's Gunnison. You might know there's Mount Nebo, Nephi, Manti. Gunnison's right below there. It's kind of a speed trap now, so don't drive too fast while you're down there.
Wait, why?
It's just easy to kind of hide behind this corner, and Gunnison's like... So the speed limit down there is like 75, and it cuts down to like 60 pretty quickly. So at this site, a band of Ute Indians were massacred. Pacific Railroad Survey Party. They were unaware of the Walker War had been going on between the Ute Indians and the Mormons there. 7 men set out to explore the Sevier Lake country in the area of the hostels there. 4 days later, the band of Ute massacred the party. So Gunnison and 6 other men were killed. 4 escaped.
Oh, this is the Gunnison.
The massacre halted surveying activities in Utah until the following year when Ute hostilities ended. And there's a monument down there if you want to take a look at that sometime. Talked about the Goshu War last time as well. This happened in 1860. So it was after the Walker War had happened. So it happened in Utah and Nevada. So Goshu started attacking stagecoach stations in Utah and Nevada. Gentlemen, keep it together. 5 minutes. That's all I need, right? Great. So Goshu started attacking stagecoach stations in Utah and Nevada. The U.S. Army attacked the Goshutes. The Army surrounded and slaughtered an entire Indian camp of men, women, and children. So over 100 natives were killed during this massacre, or the Goshu War, and only 16 settlers were killed or were part of the army there. So 7 stations were destroyed in Utah alone, and the route was closed for extended periods of time. So that was the stagecoach trail that was shut down. Bear River Massacre, 1863, 3 years later, just north of Preston and Cache Valley. So there in Idaho and into northern Utah. Many people traveling west past Utah shot at friendly Shoshone Indians. The small groups then started attacking wagon trains. They attacked and massacred men, women, and children. How many were killed? About 300 men, women, and children. Settlers who witnessed the battle were sickened by the sight and disappointed in the U.S. Army for what they did. So there's a couple of monuments for Bear River Massacre up there in northern Utah and southern Idaho. So at the Shoshone perspective, Bear River has gained acceptance among scholars. The tribe has begun to regain land at the site of the massacre, create a new monument, give their side of the story of what exactly happened. Black Hawk War happened in 1865. So this entire thing happens in the span of about 18 years. So it's in the Sanpete and Sevier counties. So it's in this area here in central Utah. You guys covered most of this in class, so I'm not going to go over all the details for the Black Hawk War. 50 to 70 settlers were killed, 50 to 70 natives were killed. Mormon communities were able to explore and expand in the areas controlled by the Utes. And then they also began to see the Army as a force that could work for their benefit. The Ute had a disastrous outcome. 1,500 Utes were forced to move to reservation where they received little aid that the treaties had promised them. Posey War, 1915 to 1923. So it's in the San Juan County in Blanding, over here in the Navajo country. Again, you covered this last time in class. It just focuses on what the Posey War was about, how it happened. Just a few people died during the Posey War. Pretty terrible picture there. 79 of the Ute pioneer prisoners were put in a compound. They were released a few days later when Posey's body was discovered. Mass exodus of Ute and Paiute Native Americans from their land around Bluff, Utah. After Posey's ban was released, they returned to having received 160-acre land allotments. Natives agreed to abandon their nomadic ways, take up farming, and allow their children to be enrolled in Indian schools. So that's some of the conflicts we talked about last time. Some of the main ideas we covered. How did the presentations go? Did you guys do really well with those? Yeah, everyone got all the details for their graphic organizers, I see. So that's good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump into another activity where we're going to cover 2 conflicts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break you up into 2 different groups. So I'm going to label you off 1s and 2s. So just remember what your number is. It's either a 1 or a 2, okay? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Great. So can I get all of the ones over onto this side of the room, and all of the twos over onto this side of the room?
Gotta have my water.
Great.
Finally. The rest of the money. It's good.
Scott.
I'm gonna get like 2 hours. I have a friend on the You're like so
How many of you are edTPA3? You pass those out? Thank you.
I like the
I just didn't try. Because I was afraid I couldn't get it. I feel so much like
How long is your wingspan?
I'm not on
He's like 6 foot.
how old is your
Does everyone have one of these? Great. Class. Great. So if you're a 1, you're responsible for the Utah War. Okay? So if you're a 1, I want you to answer all of those questions on the front page there, in the diagram on the second page, under the Utah War. If you are a number 2, yours is the Mountain Meadow Massacre. So as a group, I want you guys working together to answer all of those questions on the front page there. Hey, let's not do that, okay? Keep it together. Great, so work together answering those questions. Take about 15 minutes on that. I'll come around if you have any questions.
No, I was suggesting you should do my
Yeah, who's Junior Jesus? What are we doing? Yeah, you're Ginger Daddy. You need to sit down. Sit down, baby. Gingivitis kids. Yeah.
So again, if you're a 1, you're responsible for answering all of those questions on the Utah War. If you're a number 2, you're responsible for answering all those questions on the Mountain Meadow Massacre. There's page numbers on the front. Please answer the questions into the diagram.
Page 153.
Oh, I found a similarity. Whoa, calm down. Whoa, calm down, man. Yeah, kill your brother and you. Whoa, is that a child? My dad's 6'9".
So wait, so he's got the center.
What does your dad?
Yeah, so you guys are doing Massacre. So don't worry about filling out similarities. You just have to answer questions on the Mountain Meadow Massacre.
Can we look these up?
The instructions are very clear. Read that away, please.
Tension in
So pages 150 to 157.
you got like a thing.
You got but 150, 157, go.
And then got stuck.
Yeah, someone else doing it.
Gosh, dang it, Zach.
So you guys are on page 153 for the mountain head of
Okay, guys. Okay.
153.
Alright, 153. Oh, that's at mountain.
Freaking ever so bad. How tall is that?
Be afraid, man.
He's 69.
Yeah, he's 69.
My dad's look at day over 90. My dad's 40.
My dad's like,
My dad.
That's his birthday today.
my dad's 60.
Okay, so
Where did it have
you open up a table block.
Where do you write it?
Your dad's like,
My dad's birthday is your dad's birthday was yesterday.
my birthday was 2 years ago.
How old is he?
40.
Next year, day over that. My dad's 47 or
You guys ever want to
You guys have any questions?
Yeah. What do we do?
How much do I pay for
How much do it take for you to do my homework?
You guys can't pay me to do it.
Well, what if I paid you more than
It's not homework, it's a class
What if I paid
activity.
you
You
more
guys can
than...
work together. So like there's a question.
Guys,
Well,
everyone
what if I paid you more than you make?
I think it was in Salt Lake.
You guys just need to grab some notes.
Is that Gandalf?
Hey, I had the exact same pen. Minimum wage is like,
It's like...
minimum wage is like 7 to 50.
Gosh dang it. If you know you're rich.
Yeah, minimum is 7.
No! I hate that. Yeah. I'm not saying that's exactly okay.
That's cool. Well, I'm going to work. Girls, one more thing.
Yeah, you don't.
I was trying to make it. Then that'd be like $100.
After everyone has the details.
Looking in their book, where do you
That's why we had
You should be writing stuff down though.
I wrote my name.
Focus in on those questions.
real estate agent.
Oh, I don't know.
Is that yours?
I'll just run.
Smart.
Police is there. Attention and territory.
You're like, then I'll be drunk and high on cocaine.
Hey.
Yeah.
Page 153 and answer these questions in your document. Eventually. Right now I just want you guys to answer all
It's
of
not a very good book.
I know. Oh, Jets. Seems like
I can't read properly.
That's so sad. This followed and killed all the women and children who were enough to report
It happened in the mountains.
Okay, the soldier murdered all the men.
Happened in the
It doesn't
mountains.
give an exact mountain men, what it says.
Yeah, but that's what they were doing. These girls always get eaten.
Saturday night on.
Tinder. Oh no, I have this now.
Where did it happen in
Right, it says happened in Mountain Meadows.
No, everybody says that. It's not
Where did it happen? It happened
What is your problem? Mountain Meadows happened in the mountains.
After the conflicts was over, the city indicated that more pirates were involved in the massacre. They were bringing young women to the orphanage that was
I'm high
guilty of killed the artist.
I'm messing around.
All by yourself. Later drawn.
Yeah, you're like,
You're the one who's doing that. You're something wrong.
you don't even know what you're doing. You're just.
Are you sure about that, Everett? You're the one who's jumping.
He was arrested and executed for crime.
Bro, get off my taser!
You're triggering me, Everett.
I'm sugaring.
Yeah, you guys are small idiots.
I like how you like Lord of the Rings.
I know. I'm like, hey, there's tall men in The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
You guys have
Aragorn,
a question? Can I get you to get down from the desk?
you probably could.
I appreciate that.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Well, boy,
Yeah. You'll just answer them right here, and then I'll pair you guys off with someone from the Utah War.
Okay, we're done.
Well, I would say the Paiutes as well. Yeah. Yeah, so I'll pair you up with someone from the other side once they're able to finish that. Then you guys will teach you about the Utah War, and then you'll teach them about the massacre. And then you'll just come up with similarities.
Do we write the story?
Write the story after you come here.
Oh, look, it's my buddy. Hey, you died. Wait.
Does anyone need more time on those questions? Okay.
You guys are going to write it right here. So that you can compare your notes.
and what do we write here?
There's instructions on the entire front of you can
Right here.
read the front page, you'll have all the instructions.
I can't read.
Answers to those questions. You don't have to write the question out, you just have to write the answer.
Okay, so just answer the question.
Because that I can get for you out there.
We are going to be turning these worksheets in, so make sure you have all of those diagrams filled out.
Wait, where did the red come from? Everywhere. Oh, here. 2 reasons for this conflict. Oh, I know. I saw one. Well, they were soldiers, and then they thought they were Mormon. They were anti-religious, so like. Probably religious. What do you guess?
Well, we're doing
Dude, he has a camera. That's it. Freaks.
What's the red
my dad's coming. Ow,
What's that?
Bro, no. Can't have my iPhone. Once I get the iPhone X, I'll give it to me. I have to be my iPhone.
Teddy bear and
The iPhone 10 and a half.
So, are there some people it hovers?
you better call your mom. Mom, I need a teddy bear.
That'd be kind of cool. You can literally but just has shut your pipe. Wait, why is there Chinese on there?
Nobody
Not only coyotes were involved in the massacre. How many people were
You guys have all those questions?
Oh my gosh, guess what, guys? I didn't go to school. We got the color. I what happened in your conflict? Did you tell us
I said on the internet.
I don't have way too much questions on what happened. 17 people were. How many people died? That's insane. You reckon died? No one died but Promise.
You just have to hit 9 to dial out.
I have a debit card.
Look at David. Oh, bro.
No, my goodness.
That kid's. You were calling someone to let. Bro! Brandon does it, you Brandon. Oops, I see it. I got my key phone. They're Mormon knives. Like, some of them went off. So I think some of them. I can fix it. Leader of the.
I told you guys.
Guys, I got my key. My key.
Runs to a tree. That's fake wood.
Where I got my what can you learn from this
You can learn not to murder.
opening my smart.
Here you go.
You can get that carbon fiber. I saw one that was carbon fiber.
Good job. No, we don't. Why would I? No, no. Like not ever. What? No, my mom was but like I would.
Great. So what I want you to do now, class, can I have your attention? Just take what you have and we're going to teach it to the other side of the class. So what I want everyone to do now, so if you're a 1, is this side 1s? Yeah. I want you to line up single file, starting up here and going out and around a little bit. So just line up single file. And then number 2s, I want you guys to line up single file through here as well. Sorry, what? So I want you guys to line up single file, please. Keep it together, guys. Gentlemen, in the back.
I didn't do it. I mean,
do you know what a single file is?
No.
Let's get it together. Right? One line. I know it's exciting to stand in a line. I know it's way exciting. Just keep it together. Gentlemen, you guys can wrestle in the lunchtime, okay? Just keep it together. This is not a great single file line. What, gentlemen, can I get you to line up? I'd appreciate it. That's 2 files right there. I mean single file. Great. So what we're going to do, class, what we're going to do is we're going to come together one at a time, right? So the front of the line, you guys are partners, right? Okay. So come together. Lines. So you guys are partners. Go work together. So what you're going to do is teach your partner about your conflict. Does that make sense? Everybody. Shush, please, for 5 seconds. People, stop talking. So what you're going to do is you're going to work in pairs, and you're going to teach the other person about your conflict. So give them all the answers to the questions about your conflict and have them write it down, and then have them tell you about the answers for their conflict. What if they don't have any of the answers to the conflict? Then work together to find the answers. Great. So, can I get you to move forward? You guys are partners. Go work together. Teach each other the conflicts. You guys are partners. Work together. Teach each other the conflicts. You guys are partners. Work together. Teach each other the conflicts. You guys are partners. Work together. Teach each other the conflicts. You guys are partners. Work together. Teach each other the conflicts. You guys are partners. Work together, teach each other. You guys are partners. Work together, teach each other the conflicts. You guys are partners. You guys are partners. Where's my line at? Come on. You guys are partners. Work together, teach each other the conflicts. You guys are partners. Work together, teach each other the conflicts. Sorry, what? Partners, work together, teach each other the conflict. Do I have another number 2? Are all of my number 2s gone? Great. So you guys might just work together. So make sure your partners are getting all of the information you have on the conflicts.
What? I can't hit you.
Yes,
There's really no point.
Do your work.
Don't tell him to do his work.
So work together. Make sure you have all of the answers for both of those conflicts. Gentlemen. Good, sir. Make sure you have all of the answers for both of those conflicts in your diagram. And then work on finding similarities, okay?
Like you're taught in sports.
Nobody died here.
Mine has no
Nobody died. So they're like, the wedding one.
more of idealism. So like the federal government is tired of Mormon settlers.
Guess what's the white one?
The Mormons were like, we'll fight you for our state. We deserve to live here.
And then they're like,
All of these
so obsessed.
that was great.
No, he doesn't.
What happened to the basketball? What were the 2 reasons?
No, so you said there was no death. Where were you born?
Again, these worksheets are going to be due at the end of class, so make sure you have all of the answers for both of the conflicts in there.
hence the name, man.
Here, see this? Look.
you just answer your question. Like you handwrite them.
Oh, let's watch that movie.
Do you Black Ops, bro?
Yes.
I can't play right in animators. They died.
I don't know.
There was good.
There were flowers in the car.
Nobody died in the light.
Everyone except me is really guys. You're big.
Actually, my dad.
The one where they
Yeah, just take it off.
Utah, because it was 4 rooms.
You're big.
Okay, right?
I'm doing and then
You already come up with a solution.
I'm 11.
What did you do?
Great, so once you have both sides of your diagram filled out, class, gentlemen. So once you have both sides of your diagram filled out, go ahead and start coming up with some similarities between the two conflicts. And then I want you to write a short story about which conflict you feel impacted Utah the most. So select one of the two conflicts and then just write a little story about your opinion on why and how the conflict you selected was a big deal in Utah. When you finish up with your short story, you can go ahead and turn these in right here at my front desk.
Someone forgot to put their name on their quiz. They got 100%.
Extra credit for me.
Someone take a look at it, make sure it's not yours. It might be on the back. It was Everest. Never mind. His name's on the back.
What? Holy crap.
Two reasons for this conflict.
I can't.
Hey, Charlotte, you stop.
Martin.
Oh, it's not
Luke Martin here.
Luke and Martin. Mexico, and they
Look how many people were killed.
Alyssa Austin. Zachary Brimhall. Phoenix. Jack Kincaid.
No, I didn't. I thought I heard
Liza Hunt.
Look how many people were killed.
Carson Vidala. Charlie Christensen. Sorry, what? So the teacher requested. Ella Bott. Great job. And the library. Ryan Hackett.
I did not pull it back. I can help you.
Thank you. Sorry.
Are you emo?
Yeah, it's up here at the front.
I'm not. No, my pants are red. And I'm wearing a white shirt. But then you have to gray. It's even more. Oh, sweet. Thank you. Yes, sir. You got 12 out of 10. That doesn't make sense. 10 out of 10.
Charlie Grant.
Okay, so guess what, guys? I got 10 out of 10. I got 12 out of 10.
Ben,
Braxton.
Ben, this chair sucks.
You suck. I don't give a
Ethan.
No, that's mine.
Talia.
I don't get a pot. For number 6, you put Michigan. Don't even know what it is. Shut up! I was.
Anna Larson.
Shut up! It was this. That was that. Yes. Oh my gosh! Look at
Nathan Darrington.
What's your problem, man?
Let's
Oh,
go.
I'm high.
You're high.
May Hewish.
High, yeah. No,
Where did you get that one?
Haley Chatwin.
There's my positive.
Alexa Ball.
Put it down.
Positive.
Can I get a
Great. My positive.
Great.
I'm ready for my positive too.
You be you. What's the point of having that?
I did. Okay.
Say your butt down. Oh yeah, I heard Ben and I'm like, of course they're in. I don't have
So as you're finishing your compare and contrast worksheet, go ahead and turn them in up here, class. And then take everything off your desk except for a writing utensil and your Utah history book. Right here. Thank you. So there should be nothing on your desk besides a writing utensil and a Utah history book.
I got invaded.
Turn it in, though.
Can't move.
We don't have a lot of time. We have another assignment.
Oh, frick, I'm not done with this.
Just go ahead and turn it in. There should be no talking. Keep your Utah history books.
Hey, doctor, how do you know my name?
Because everybody knows your next.
There should be no talking.
I shouted to
There should be no
Please, there should be nothing on your desk besides a Utah history book and a writing utensil. Class. There should be no talking from anyone in the class. There should be nothing on your desk besides a Utah history book and a writing utensil. If you're talking, you're going to lose points for everyone in your group. Thank you. There should be no talking. I know that's very confusing.
It's too confusing.
So what you're doing now is talking. Just not doing that would be no talking.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we should be starting this right now.
Where is the golden spike?
It's in Promontory Point.
Is it like still there?
Yeah. There should be no talking. This is a test.
Wait, it is?
That's why there's no talking.
We'll see.
Explain how one of the conflicts COVID process resolved. So how did it end? So the conflicts we talked about today, about this period, Black Hawk War, opposing Utah, how was it resolved? And then just use the point in order to cite your evidence. And then just use that page number to cite evidence of how it was resolved. As you can see on page 150, the total is resolved by understanding using the evidence number. So you'll just use some evidence from the book as to how the conflict was resolved. So we will do Utah this section here, we talked about how the war was resolved. We just put it on page 157, it says the Utah war was resolved because of this, and this.
As you're leaving, just go ahead and turn those in to me.
What if you're not finished?
That's okay. Yeah, have a good day.
Please come to the front office. Merritt, Dame. Please come to the front office. Paul Davies.
Great
Paul
job.
Davies and Merritt, Dame. Please come to the front office. Thank you.